The Huawei triple phone has been making headlines since its release on September 20th. After more than 10 days, what have the first consumers who bought it really experienced? I've been using it for a few days now, and to be honest, it's really not convenient. Using it daily is a hassle, especially with a triple fold design. Let's start with using it in single screen mode. It's thicker than a regular phone, and while it's thin when open, you still have to use both hands. When you're done, you need to fold it, and then it's thicker than a normal phone. As for the dual screen mode, I rarely use it during work, and most of the time, single screen is enough. Another issue is, when I put it in my pocket, I'm always worried about breaking the screen. Honestly, the screen on these foldable phones is fragile. If it breaks, the repair cost is over 10,000 yuan. It's like the domestic economy is trying everything to drive up GDP. So, I'd say this phone is something to look at, not use. It's not user-friendly at all. Industrial waste, really. It turns out that many people share the same feeling. One man, for example, regretted his decision just 7 days after buying it, and now wants to switch back to an iPhone.
How come you are thinking of giving up on the phone after just buying it?
It's just too heavy. I don't want to use it anymore.
How much did you pay for it?
38,800 yuan.
You don't mess around, do you? And now it's dropped by over 10,000 yuan. How long have you used it?
I bought it on September 20th, so it's been 7 days. Just a week.
In just a week, you've lost nearly 20,000 yuan. What phone are you planning to switch to now?
I think I'll go back to Apple.
The market price for this phone is now just over 20,000 yuan. Would you consider selling it for 28,000?
Sure, that works. This man took quite a financial hit. In just 7 days, he lost more than 10,000 yuan. This is what happens when you make impulsive purchases driven by so-called patriotic enthusiasm. It's a hefty price for what many call a stupidity tax. Some users even regretted their purchase right after unboxing the phone. After taking the phone apart, I really regret it. I spent so much money on this phone. People must think I'm a fool, right? Anyone who bought a triple fold phone must be crying in the bathroom right now. This phone is a joke in human history. A friend of mine bought one, and after using it for a couple days, he told me how he felt. At first, he was excited to try out all the features, but now he's full of regret. Why? Because it's just not practical. So how impractical is it? The vlogger's friend told him about his experience using it while shopping at the supermarket. He said that when you open the triple fold phone, holding it with one hand makes your fingers tired after a while. So he had to switch hands. That's one problem. Then, while shopping, he tried to fold it back up, but it's still bulkier and heavier than a regular phone. If you open it, one hand's on the shopping cart and the other is holding this huge phone. It's really inconvenient. And the worst part is that when the phone's open, there's nowhere to put it. With regular phones, you can quickly check messages or make a call, then lock the screen and put it in your pocket. But with a triple fold phone, once it's opened, it won't fit in your pocket. My friend said he had to leave the phone in the shopping cart. The convenience just isn't there. This vlogger also shared that his friend struggled when using the phone to pay. The triple fold phone was too large, making it difficult to align for scanning and just overall inconvenient. After paying, he found it hard to use one hand to carry his shopping bags and the phone. He had to put the bags down to use both hands to operate the phone. When he folded the phone and put it in his pocket, the first thing he noticed was how bulky it was. It felt much thicker and heavier than his usual phone. Huawei's triple fold phone is promoted as a combination of a phone and an iPad. It's something Huawei is very proud of, but unfortunately, the experience doesn't live up to the hype. The vlogger's friend also said that while watching videos on the foldable screen worked well as an iPad replacement, the lack of protective case made him worry about where to place the phone safely. Regular phones have cases, so you can put them anywhere, but with this phone, you have to be extremely careful. This Huawei Mate X-T costs at least 20,000 yuan, and some early buyers had to pay extra to get one. The foldable screen is fragile, and it's easy to damage if you're not careful. Right now, there are no suitable cases to protect it. Using an iPad-like case is too much trouble. You'd have to attach the case when you open the phone and remove it to fold it. This highlights the inconvenience and poor safety. The phone also heats up with extended use, unlike an iPad. The iPad features looks like it adds value, but in reality, it's not very useful. Imagine using the phone for 10 hours a day. You might use the iPad features for 1 hour, but for the other 9 hours, you're stuck using the phone, which isn't convenient enough to operate with one hand. In the end, my friend said it's the worst phone he's ever bought, and it's so expensive. I told him before not to buy this phone. It's just for show and is a joke, but he didn't listen. They said they'd make some videos and reviews, hoping the videos would go viral. After he finished using it, he told me, "Oh my god, this triple fold phone? I say it's probably the most failed phone in human history." As an iPad replacement, the triple fold phone has another major flaw, the crease. These two creases on the screen are really bothering me. They couldn't even get one screen right, let alone three. Aren't you all bothered by these creases too? Using a tablet would be much better. Early users are also frustrated by Huawei's scarcity marketing. Scalpers initially inflated the price, but the day it went on sale, prices dropped sharply. This hurt scalpers who hoarded the phone, and many consumers paid as much as 50,000 or 60,000 yuan only to watch the price drop by 10,000 yuan per day. This is wild, absolutely wild. Take a look at this. If you're talking about scalping, this year has definitely been the worst year. Many people blame us for driving up the price of these phones. Yes, we did inflate the price, selling it at 200,000 or 300,000 yuan, making a huge profit on each unit. But the truth is, it's not just us scalpers, it's the manufacturers who are the biggest scalpers. Turning to Apple, the iPhone 16 also faced an unusual situation this year. The iPhone 16 Pro was sold at a loss, surprising scalpers. It's been their worst year, but Apple being Apple, the prices bounced back soon after. Here's a price list for the iPhone 16 series. The price has gone up again. The iPhone 16 Pro Max in gold is now being resold at 12,180 yuan. This morning, it was 12,150 yuan. It's already gone up, which means supply is running low. Yesterday, it went up by just 20 yuan. Today, it's up 180. Yesterday, it was selling for 12,000 flat, and this afternoon, it's 12,180. The price just keeps changing. Just one day later, the iPhone 16 Pro Max in gold was selling for 12,200 yuan again. Some models are more expensive, requiring an extra 500 yuan. Huawei's Mate X-T claimed to have received 4 million orders in its September 10th launch. By September 20th, reports suggested that the number has surpassed 6 million. However, insiders say that these numbers are largely inflated. On Chinese shopping sites, many sales figures are artificially boosted. The real sales may be less than 1/10 of what's reported. According to media reports, analysts found Huawei had only ordered 1 million units for production. This means the remaining millions of orders can't be fulfilled because production costs are too high. Due to US sanctions, as well as a low yield rate, key chips supplied by SMIC are very limited. Huawei agreed to produce only 1 million units because making more would result in financial losses. This phone seems to be a show of strength from Huawei, as it was launched on the same day as the iPhone 16 to compete with the US. It's more about marketing than practicality. For regular consumers, the phone lacks real value and is seen mainly as a symbol of national pride for some. The triple fold phone is a step backward, not forward. That's my opinion. I know saying this will get me criticized. Some people say, it's not designed for ordinary people like you. You can't even afford it. Fine, I admit it, but I'm not denying the progress in technology. The screen material has advanced enough to fold, and the hinge technology has matured. You can now use a phone like a tablet. These are great selling points, but is this really something you need? Do you need a tablet to make phone calls? Do you need a computer with a touch screen? Making something simple so complicated seems like overkill. I've been using Apple for years because of its simplicity. Flip phones were eliminated for a reason. These designs and features go against user-friendliness. Luxury won't become mainstream, simplicity will. The higher ranked the product, the simpler it is. Going back to the basics is what makes something truly user-friendly. This TikToker actually made a good point. Someone commented and said, Steve Jobs simplified the tablet into a phone, but Huawei complicated the phone into a tablet. Is this progress or regression? Another major issue with Huawei's foldable phone is screen damage. We've reported before on consumers who experienced screen problems shortly after purchase, including one who found a black line across the screen right after unboxing. What's going on with me this year? It feels like I'm paying a stupidity tax on every domestic product I buy. What's even more embarrassing is that neither Huawei's after-sales service nor regular repair shops can fix a phone right now. One tech reviewer bought a Huawei Mate X-T to livestream a teardown. After taking it apart, he called Huawei's after-sales service to ask about repairs, only to be told that they couldn't fix it yet because the engineers hadn't been trained. Repairs won't be available until next month. Since 2019, when Huawei launched its first foldable phone, it has claimed to be a leader in foldable technology. Chinese media have even boasted that Huawei surpassed Samsung. However, as we've previously reported, Huawei may have illegally obtained Samsung's technology, and the technology itself is still immature. This is why so many users complain about the foldable screens breaking. A professional phone repairer confirmed this. This is Huawei's foldable X5. The problem here is common with foldable screens. The internal display is damaged, and the crease easily damages the inside screen. But because Huawei holds such a high status in China, often backed by fervent nationalism, consumers face many obstacles when seeking repairs.
Today is July 24th, 2024 Beijing time. It's 11 p.m. I just got back from Huawei's customer service center and decided to record this video. The phone I'm holding is the Huawei Foldable Pocket 2, which I bought 3 months ago for 7,999 yuan. Today marks exactly 3 months since I bought it. I used it normally and very carefully, but look at it now. This morning, I noticed a small smudge the size of a fingernail on the right side of the screen. Not long after I folded the phone, got in the car, and when I opened it again at the first red light, I saw the black smudge had spread, about 2 centimeters wide. Now it's even worse. The phone completely stopped working.
A woman went to a Huawei store after work to inquire about repairs for her phone, which is only 3 months old and under a 1-year warranty. The store initially claimed she must have dropped it, which she denied angrily. After inspection, a tiny speck on the screen was blamed for causing a leak, voiding the warranty. The repair would cost 2,399 yuan, with an offer to waive 500 yuan, which she rejected. Frustrated, she argued the issue was due to poor quality, not user error. She had trusted the domestic brand and bought Huawei to support Chinese products, but Huawei's lack of responsibility left her deeply disappointed. She questioned, how can we trust the Huawei brand anymore? This woman's experience is similar to countless others who bought Huawei foldable phones. When a problem arises, Huawei's after-sales service always blames the user, forcing them to pay high repair costs. A second-hand phone dealer in Shenyang has summarized from years of experience. Foldable screens generally last about 6 months. Either you replace the screen or switch to another device. 8 out of 10 people who buy foldable phones regret it. If you don't believe me, just ask someone who owns one. Ask them for the truth. Do they find the phone practical? Do they feel like selling it but can't bear to? It's all the same. I've bought back plenty of these foldable phones, and most people feel the same. For example, this Huawei Mate X5 was activated on March 18th. It cost over 10,000 yuan at the time, but now there's a small dent on the bottom. In the second-hand market, it's worth 8,700 yuan now. Huawei's Mate 60 RS Extraordinary Master is said to be exceptional. It looks nice, but there are 2 things people seem to overlook. First, it's wide, and some people can't get used to the grip. Second, the phone heats up. There's no way to fix it. Every unit has this issue. I'll always be honest with everyone, even if some people won't believe me. What matters is that I'll tell you the truth about every device and its quality. A blogger on Xiaohongshu posted a video showing her Huawei Honor foldable phone screen broke just 30 minutes after purchase. The video clearly shows a thick black line along the fold, likely due to screen leakage. However, instead of supporting her, many commenters urged her to endure the problem or criticize her for posting about it, suggesting she should just fix it herself. Some commentators remarked that when the phones from other brands break and are criticized online, the public usually sides with the consumer, but with certain brands, the public seems to support the company over the consumer. Recently, a blogger named Lao Jin posted on Xiaohongshu claiming that his Honor Magic V3 phone leaked just after a few uses on the first day. Honor, once a sub-brand of Huawei, was spun off in November 2020 to avoid US sanctions. Pro-Huawei supporters quickly countered his claims, asking what benefit he gained by criticizing a domestic brand. It's no surprise that some have called Huawei a rogue company that bullies its customers. Backed by the government, Huawei is not held accountable for its misleading advertising. In fact, this has become part of its normal operations. What's more alarming is how easily Huawei's PR team can block negative reports about the company. Many revealing reports, especially those that expose the truth about Huawei, quickly disappear from the internet. This level of information control leaves ordinary consumers in the dark. In the end, they are the ones who suffer the most. Huawei's success in China comes from exploiting nationalistic sentiments and collecting stupidity tax. Regular consumers care about performance and product quality, which Huawei phones lack due to outdated processors. As a result, Huawei relies on gimmicks and patriotism to stay afloat. If forced to compete fairly in the market, Huawei would have collapsed long ago. But patriotism-driven marketing can only go so far. Many consumers who have now experienced the Mate XT foldable phone are realizing its many flaws and regretting their purchase. The seemingly luxurious phone might eventually be phased out by the market.